Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving deep into something really fascinating. We are going to be decoding the mystery of the Lamb and exploring the timeless wisdom of the cosmic shepherd.
You know, have you ever actually stopped and wondered why, across thousands of years and completely different ancient traditions, the ultimate symbol of spiritual purity is universally represented as just a simple sheep? I mean, why do we constantly see shepherd deities guiding flocks in all these timeless myths? And why is mankind so often referred to as a flock? Is it just because our ancestors lived these agrarian, farming lives? Or is there a deeper, hidden, maybe even anatomical truth pointing toward human consciousness itself?
Well, let's dive right in by starting with one of the most famous scriptural verses in history. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now, countless generations have read this as literal history, right? But if we peel back that literal translation just a bit, we uncover a timeless, esoteric map, one that was left by the ancients to guide us inward. And the secret key to all of this lies in what the way actually meant to them.
See, esoterically speaking, the Way has long been understood in ancient astronomy as the Milky Way itself. This incredible celestial arch of pure white light leads directly up to the highest point of the cosmic dome. And guess what sits right at that cosmic peak? The constellation of Aries, the Ram, or the Lamb. So to follow the Way literally meant to trace the stars upward to the celestial Ram.
Now, to really understand why this matters for us today, we have to grasp the ultimate golden rule of ancient wisdom. As above, so below. Basically, the stars above serve as a perfect mirror for the microcosm below, and specifically the microcosm of the human cranium. The dome of the heavens, with all its fixed stars and the Milky Way, perfectly maps onto the physical dome of your own skull. These ancient sages were masterful anatomists who actually embedded the biology of the human brain directly into the stars themselves.
So, let's map out our inner kingdom. Within the sacred anatomy of the cranium, we're going to look at four specific structures: the hippocampus, the fornix, the lambdoid suture, and the thalamus. Together, these form the actual physical terrain of our spiritual journey. And we're about to look at exactly how perfectly the starry Lamb of the heavens reflects the anatomy sitting right behind your eyes.
All right, first up is the hippocampus. Now, this word comes from ancient Greek, meaning sea monster or horse. But anatomically, these structures form what early anatomists literally called the ram's horns, curving right near your inner ear. Think about that for a second. Think about the ancient imagery of priests blowing the ram's horn, the trumpet, to announce the divine word. The spiral of this horn sits right by your auditory complex. In the ancient tradition, this is where you internally hear the guiding voice of the celestial shepherd.
Next, those ram's horns connect directly to a structure in the brain called the fornix. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates just how deep this ancient knowledge goes. Fornix translates to an arch or to heat and warm, kind of like a furnace. Notice the incredible connection here. Aries is the astrological fire sign, and anatomically, the arch connecting to your internal ram's horns literally means to heat. So symbolically, you have an esoteric fire burning under a vaulted dome right inside your head.
Okay, here's where it gets really wild. Let's tie this anatomical fornix to mathematics and ancient geometry. There's a sacred sequence called the Pythagorean tetractys, which builds a perfect triangle, a symbol we'll explore deeply in just a moment. It counts from 0 to 4. Now in Greek, 0 or nothingness is nix, so the sequence goes nix, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you put that together, you get 4 and nix. Fornix. The anatomical arch of fire in your brain shares its phonetic and conceptual roots with the foundational mathematical geometry of the universe, the detractus, which builds from nothing into the solid foundation of reality.
And what exactly does that tetractys build? A perfect triangle. In sacred geometry, an upward-pointing triangle is the universal symbol for fire, and geometrically, it contains exactly 180 degrees. So this number, 180, is basically the numeric signature of this esoteric fire. And incredibly, this exact triangular shape is perfectly mirrored on the back of the human skull. It's an intersection of bone that is literally called the lambdoid suture. And it gets that name because it's shaped exactly like the Greek letter lambda, which is, you guessed it, a triangle.
Now, switch gears with me for a second, and let's look at this from the incredible angle of sacred biology. We've talked about the lamb, the fire, the triangle, and the number 180. But what about a literal, living lamb in the natural world? Well, by some seemingly miraculous design, a natural sheep gestates its lamb in the womb for exactly 145 days. Just keep that precise biological marker, 145, in the back of your mind for a second. Because check this out. If we take that number of gestation days, 145, and find its mathematical divisors, we get 1, 5, 29, and 145. When you add all those divisors together, the sum total is exactly 180. The 180 degrees of the triangle. The 180 degrees of esoteric fire. This unveils a totally stunning, mathematically perfect link between the literal biology of the Lamb, sacred geometry, and the anatomical structures in your very own mind. It's like the natural world and your internal world are singing the exact same cosmic song.
And all of this incredible alignment brings us to a really triumphant prophetic declaration found in sacred scripture. Let us be glad and rejoice, for the marriage of the Lamb is come. Most people read this as some external future event, right? But viewed through the lens of this timeless wisdom, this is actually a profoundly intimate, anatomical event. The marriage of the Lamb isn't happening up in the sky at the end of the world. It is happening right now inside of you.
So the crucial question is, where does this marriage actually take place? Well, right in the center of your brain's anatomy, nestled perfectly right among those ram's horns we talked about, sits the thalamus. And what does thalamus mean in ancient Greek? It translates to inner chamber, or even more specifically, the bridal chamber. It also means the receptacle of a flower about to bloom. The marriage of the Lamb is quite literally the activation of this very chamber within your mind.
This internal, biological wedding is known in esoteric traditions as the alchemical wedding. It's this profound process of uniting all the opposites within us, the left and right hemispheres of the brain, the male and female energies, the physical and the spiritual. By unifying these opposing forces right there in the bridal chamber of the thalamus, we ignite the optic thalamus. And notice the brilliant wordplay these ancient traditions love so much. When you finally achieve the marriage of the Lamb, it ignites the inner light, and the Lamb becomes the lamp, the truly enlightened mind.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. If the celestial shepherd and the sacred lamb reside strictly within your own mind, who are you truly following? This timeless wisdom doesn't ask us to look outward to follow some distant figure. It asks us to follow the Milky Way, the path of purity, upward into our own inner chamber. Because the ultimate realization is that the shepherd you seek, the wisdom, the fire, and the divine light, well, they've always been waiting right inside your own mind, just ready for you to awaken them. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. It's been a blast. Until next time, keep looking within.